There are business owners in China right now, landlords, convenience store operators, apartment complex manager, quietly collecting money every single hour of the day. Not from rent, not from product sales, from electric bike and motorcycle charging in their parking lots. And here's the thing, they didn't build an app, they didn't hire staff, they plugged in a cabinet, connected it to the internet, and set their price. That's it. Today on Pyxis Product Focus, we are going deep on how this works, the technology, the business model, the real numbers, and how you can potentially bring this exact system to your own country. Welcome back to Pyxis Product Focus. This is the show where we go inside China's manufacturing and technology ecosystem to find real products, real business models, and real opportunities for entrepreneurs and businesses outside of China. If you caught our short video on electric bike charging systems, this is the full deep dive you have been waiting for. We are covering the history, the hardware, the payment systems, battery swap cabinets, and exactly how you can make money from the business model. Let's get into it. To understand why this charging infrastructure even exists, you have to understand just how dominant electric two-wheelers have become in China. And this didn't happen overnight. It's a story that started in the mid-1990s. China's electric bicycle industry traces back to around 1995 when the first commercially available models hit the market. At the time, they were slow, the batteries were heavy lead acid units, and the range was limited. But the price was right, and for tens of millions of delivery workers, commuters, and small business owners, they solved a real problem. By the early 2000s, local manufacturers had scaled up dramatically. Cities like Wuxi, Tianjin, Changzhou became electric bike manufacturing hubs. And then government policy accelerated everything. Motorcycle bans were introduced in dozens of major cities to reduce emissions and congestion. And electric two-wheelers slipped through the regulatory gap. They were classified differently, required no license in many cases, and produced zero direct emissions. By 2010, China was producing over 20 million electric two-wheelers per year. By 2022, that number had grown to over 50 million units annually, with a total fleet estimated at more than 350 million electric bikes and motorcycles on Chinese roads. To put that in perspective, that's more electric two-wheelers in China than there are people in the United States. Companies like Yadi, Aima, New Technologies, and Luyuan became household names. Yadi alone crossed 10 million units sold in a single year, and as the fleet grew, completely new problem emerged. Where do all these bikes charge? Early on, riders would simply bring batteries indoors and charge them from wall sockets. But as apartment complexes became denser and fire safety concerns grew, battery fires from substandard chargers became a real issue. Chinese regulators and property managers began pushing for dedicated outdoor charging infrastructure. And that is exactly where the charging cabinet business was born. So what exactly is charging cabinet and how does the whole system work? Let's break it down. A standard electric bike charging cabinet is a weatherproof outdoor unit, usually wall-mounted or freestanding, with anywhere from 6 to 20 individual charging ports. Each port supplies AC power to a connected bike or detachable battery at controlled wattage. The unit has built-in control board, a 4G or Wi-Fi module for internet connectivity, and a display or indicator panel for users. On the battery swap side, which is where things really get interesting, instead of plugging your bike in and waiting, you simply walk to the cabinet, unlock a slot, swap your depleted battery for a full charged one, and you can ride away under 60 seconds. Companies like NIO have popularized this concept for cars, but in two-wheeler space, this has been mainstream in China for years already. Now here is where the business model really lives. Every cabinet is connected to a cloud-based management platform. As the cabinet owner, you log into a backend dashboard, usually a web portal or mobile app, and you can see every port, every active session, and every transaction in real time. In China, payments is handled almost exclusively through Alipay and WeChat Pay. A user walks up, scans a QR code, selects a port, and payment is deducted automatically from their digital wallet when the charging finishes. No cash, no card readers, no friction. Very easy. But here's what makes this exportable to international markets. The manufacturers we work with can integrate alternative payment gateways. This can be Stripe, PayPal, or any local payment infrastructure that can be connected via API. The payment module is essentially a configurable layer on top of the hardware. And for markets where digital payment infrastructure is still developing, or for operators who simply want a simpler setup, The units also support RFID cards. You issue prepared cards to your users, they top them up, and they tap to charge. You control the card balances and the charging rates directly from the backend. No smartphone required for this use case. Before we get into the profit model, if you are finding this useful so far, do me a favor and hit the like button. It genuinely helps us reach more entrepreneurs and business owners who are looking for opportunities like this. Now, let's talk about the business model. Let's run some real numbers because this is the part most people want to know. Say your local electricity cost is 10 cents per kilowatt hour. A typical electric bike battery in China is around 0.8 to 1 kilowatt hour. So one full charge costs you as the operator roughly 8 to 10 cents in electricity. You set your charging price at around 30 to 40 cent equivalent per kilowatt through the back end. That is a markup of roughly 200 to 300% to cover the overheads and boost profitability. On a 20-port cabinet running 60% utilization across the day, you're looking at around 80 to 100 charging sessions. At 15 to 30 cent margin per session, that is $12 to $30 per day. With minimal ongoing effort after the setup, this can scale impressively. And critically, you can change the price at any time directly from the dashboard. If the electricity costs rise, you adjust. If demand spikes in your area, you price accordingly. You are in full control. Now, how do you actually get your hands on one of these units if you are outside China? This is exactly what we do at Pyxis Product Sourcing. We are based in China and we work directly with the manufacturers who build these charging cabinets and battery swap stations. Not middlemen, not trading companies, the actual factories. When you come to us with a project like this, here's what the process actually looks like. First, we do a sourcing assessment. We look at your target market, your volume requirements, and your budget. Then we identify and vet multiple suppliers and handle all the communication in Chinese so nothing gets lost in translation. More importantly, we work with manufacturers who have experience exporting internationally. That means you will get any quality and compliance certifications you need for your destination country. On the payment integration side, we coordinate directly with the manufacturer's software team to ensure your local payment method works from day one. Does not matter which payment network it is, as long as the payment infrastructure has the API, we can connect them to the charging cabinets and you can start using them from day one. And for clients who want to deploy in markets with limited payment infrastructure, we specifically source units with robust RFID card support. You can issue your own branded cards, control the top-up process, and build a user base without depending on smartphone penetration. We've done this kind of work across multiple product categories: industrial equipment, consumer electronics, infrastructure, hardware. Electric bike charging is a natural fit for us because the supply chain in China is mature, the manufacturers are competitive, and the product is genuinely ready for global deployment. Whether you are a property developer looking to add revenue stream to your portfolio, an entrepreneur looking for your first infrastructure play, or a business that wants to add EV charging as a service to your existing customers, we can help you source the right unit at the right price with the right configuration for your market. The electric two-wheeler market is not slowing down, it is accelerating. Europe, Southeast Asia, Latin America, Africa, every region is seeing rapid adoption of electric bikes and motorcycles, and charging infrastructure is not keeping pace. That gap is a business opportunity. China has already solved the hard problems. The hardware works, the software is proven, the business model is validated at massive scale. What is needed now is people willing to bring that infrastructure to new markets. If that is something you are seriously considering or even just exploring at this stage, reach out to us. We offer free initial product research and quotation service. Tell us your market, your requirements, your budget range, and we will come back to you with concrete supplier options and pricing. No obligation, no cost for that first conversation. It's completely free. You will find our contact details in the description below. Drop us a message and mention this video, and we will make sure you are prioritized. Before I go, if this is the kind of content that is useful to you, please subscribe to our channel. We cover industrial and infrastructure products coming out of China that have real business potential globally. We have got more episodes coming on topics like solar microgrids, manufacturing equipment and medical products, and a lot more. Hit subscribe, turn on the notification bell so you don't miss those. We will see you in the next one. Thank you.